Hi there, this is Shawn Hansen, and I want to welcome you to this week's Sketchy Saturday. I had so much fun going analog last week. I thought I'd do it again this week. Well, that, and I kind of feel like my gumball machine needs a little company since it's been living all alone in that big sketchbook all week long. As always, I'm going to start with a little planning, light lines to rough out the space for what I'll be doodling. Today's sketchy subject is a practice and a thing that dates back to the Egyptians, a people known for their architectural prowess. It's believed that Egyptians might actually have used sand to create models and sculptures, perhaps even to create miniature versions of their huge structures. Of course, there's no positive proof of that. Those answers are blowing in the wind. But a whole lot of really smart historians and scientists think it's probable. Imagine little Cleopatra playing in the sand, blissfully unaware of what was to come, or that she'd be the very last pharaoh of Egypt. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and sculpting with sand was less about securing ancient building permits and more a way to entertain and amaze. European artists often used sand to create intricate models of castles, which served as a form of entertainment at festivals and other social events. During the 19th century, going to the beach became a thing, and beachgoers in Britain and other European countries began building sand sculptures recreationally. It was during this time that sand modeling competitions, as in building stuff with sand, not showing off skin in swimsuits, became common at many seaside resorts. These competitions became so popular, they drew participants and spectators from near and far. The popularity of building actual sand castles became widespread in beach communities and destinations all around the world during the late 20th and early 21st centuries. And it was during that period that organized sand sculpture competitions turned the recreational activity into an art form. Suddenly, professional sand sculptors became a thing, and these artists pushed the boundaries of what could be achieved using sand as a medium. Since then, various international competitions, festivals, and exhibitions that showcase the skills of sand sculptors have emerged and attract artists from around the world who never fail to amaze their audiences with their intricate designs, many of which reach massive heights and breadths. When it comes to creating sand castles and other sculptures in the sand, it turns out that not all sand is equal. Fine-grained, moist sand from below the high tide level is often the sand of choice because it holds its shape and allows for more intricate designs. And speaking of moisture, it is crucial that it's added to sand to ensure structural stability. Of course, learning the perfect balance between sand and water to create a mixture that's both strong and moldable is often elusive, even for seasoned pros. Tides also play a key role in the overall success of a sand sculpting outing. When those waves crash in, the survival rate for the hobbyist creations is almost nil. But skilled sand sculpting pros have been known to plan their designs to withstand the tide rising. It's also worth noting that building sandcastles and other sand sculptures is more than just fooling around. There are significant educational benefits to be had when building with sand, including a better understanding of architectural principles, learning about stability, balance, and geometry, and of course, promoting a whole lot of creativity. By now, you might be ready to head to the beach to do a little sand sculpting yourself. And if you're getting ready for a trip, perhaps you'd like to gear up before you go. That's right, there are tools and kits available to make building sandcastles easier and more enjoyable. Kits and tools include special shaped buckets that are more like molds, shovels with serrated edges for carving out details, knives and sculpting tools made specifically for sand detailing, mesh sieves for sifting finer sand onto the surface of your finished work to give it that smooth finish, and even spray bottles to help keep your sand moist. Once you have all of your tools, you might want to opt for a carrying bag, extra decorative items like flags and shells and other beachy embellishments, and of course, an idea book with instructions for creating a variety of sandcastles never hurts. And now for a very kitschy tale about a haunted sandcastle. Nestled along the windswept coast of a remote island, there once stood an ancient sandcastle that whispered secrets of a long forgotten era. This was no ordinary castle, for its towers and turrets were crafted from the sands of time and held tales of both splendor and sorrow. Local legend spoke of a bygone kingdom, once a thriving realm that vanished mysteriously centuries ago. The castle, abandoned by the living, became a spectral sentinel guarding the stories of its lost inhabitants, and its haunting beauty drew curious souls like moths to a flame. One summer, not long ago, a group of friends set out to explore the island in search of the haunted sandcastle. Among the group was Alex, a history enthusiast with an insatiable curiosity for the unknown. The rumors of the haunted sandcastle fascinated him, and at his urging, the group decided to spend the night not far from its eerie silhouette. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the beach, the friends gathered around a crackling bonfire. The waves whispered tales of ancient maritime adventures, and the distant cry of seabirds added an ethereal soundtrack to the unfolding mystery. Later, as if drawn by an unseen force, the group ventured closer to the haunted sandcastle. As they neared, moonlight bathed the castle in an otherworldly glow, and the shifting sand seemed to come alive with the echoes of forgotten laughter and ghostly murmurs. As one, the small group crossed the threshold of the castle, and a sudden chill permeated the air. The friends exchanged nervous glances but pressed on, guided by an irresistible curiosity. The sand beneath their feet felt cool and damp, as if the castle itself were acknowledging their presence. In the central courtyard was an ancient well, its depths shrouded in darkness. Alex knew that, according to legend, the well held the key to unlocking the castle's secrets, and fueled by a thirst for knowledge, he peered into its abyss. Reflections of faces long past stared back, their expressions frozen in time. As a clock somewhere struck midnight, a haunting melody echoed through the corridors of the sandcastle. Shadows danced along the walls, and ghostly apparitions materialized, reenacting scenes from a forgotten celebration. The friends were both mesmerized and terrified as they witnessed the spectral ballroom come to life with ethereal waltzes and whispers. As the night unfolded, the group discovered a series of murals carved into the sandstone walls. Each mural depicted the rise and fall of the once glorious kingdom, the laughter of children playing in the courtyard, and the grandeur of royal feasts, and then the inevitable decay as time passed. In the heart of the castle, a ghostly figure materialized, a long-lost monarch who had watched over the kingdom for centuries. With hollow eyes and a voice as soft as the rustling sea breeze, the ghostly ruler recounted the tragic tale of a kingdom torn apart by betrayal and greed. The sandcastle, a relic of that past, had become a purgatory for those unable to move on. Driven by empathy, the friends vowed to break the curse that bound the spirits to the haunted castle. And guided by the ghostly monarch, they worked to uncover the truth buried in the castle's ancient chambers. Through hidden passages and crumbling halls, they unearthed artifacts and remnants of a once vibrant civilization. The more they discovered, the stronger the connection between the living and the dead became. The friends realized that the key to breaking the curse lay in understanding the mistakes of the past and making amends for them. As dawn approached, the group gathered in the courtyard, surrounded by the lingering spirits of the haunted sandcastle. With newfound wisdom, they performed a ritual of forgiveness, acknowledging the pain of the past and releasing the tortured souls from their eternal prison. As the first light of day broke on the horizon, the sandcastle began to crumble, its majestic architecture slowly separating like memories fading away. The spirits, freed from their earthly change, ascended into the morning sky, their glowing forms becoming a cascade of golden light. The once haunted sandcastle was finally silent, its secrets and souls released. A witness to centuries of joy and sorrow, the haunted sandcastle returned to the whispers of the wind and slowly evaporated into the rising tide. The group of friends, forever changed by the night's revelations, left the island with a profound sense of closure and the knowledge that some tales are best left to the sands of time. I'm Shawn Hansen, and that's it for this Sketchy Saturday. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you gave it a thumbs up, maybe even make a comment if you're so inclined. And if you want to be sure not to miss my next Sketchy Saturday, go ahead and click the subscribe button.